they'll come after that immediate pressing need. If you can, I would like you to help me distribute my funds to charities.
The things that scammers and hackers want to do is isolate you.
Just do something. Doing nothing is no longer an option.
All right, welcome to the SafetyNet podcast by ArkCybr. My name is Josh Lewis. I'm your host and producer, and with me is Sean Artizone, who is the genius, hacker, brains, and heart of the podcast. And in this podcast, what we try to do every single time is give you tips and tools and information to help you have a safer online experience. And today we're going to be answering this question. It's actually going to be a part 1 of 2 where we talk about online security basics for aging parents. One of the things we've noticed and a lot of people have had experience with are aging parents, aging relatives, people you know who get hacked. They see something on Facebook, they repost something, and there's just this spiral of these aging people just really not knowing how to identify things online, how to protect themselves online, and sometimes we need to pick up the pieces a little bit. And so what we're going to do in this episode is talk about what are the threats. So in this specific episode, we're going to start off with what are some of the main threats that people, especially aging people, are facing. So last episode, we talked with Kafir Yeshayahu from IronVest, and that was just such an awesome episode, hearing some of his wisdom. And so I almost feel like this dovetails a little bit with that. So I'm going to let you kind of take this away with some of your thoughts.
Yeah, so just having that conversation kind of is like all these episodes tied together. And I don't know that we intended that. It just happened to kind of all layer because, we had a general like framework and idea of what we wanted to do, but
Right.
the way they're just kind of falling, and it's kind of neat to see. It's like somebody knows what they're doing, and it's
Right.
not us, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So this topic hits really close to home very recently. And as we, go through talking about this, you'll understand why. But, knowing about the scams, people, con people have been out there forever and looking for ways to take advantage of high pressure, high stress, urgent necessity moments is not new. This is how they operate. They want you to panic. They want you to trust. They want you to overthink. And so the best way to kind of do that is to expose these things, show them for what they are, and then use some scrutiny. So I went to the FBI.gov website and I actually just did a Google search before I went there and just looked for aging parents, elderly, older generation scams. And I found, just a slew of websites. And as I was going through them, I'm like, man, all these resources are out there, but how many people still fall for this stuff because they don't know these things are out there. They don't know that, on the FBI.gov website are tons of resources pointing to exposing all of these types of scams. And I wondered to myself, are people just afraid to go to the FBI.gov website because like, I don't want to go to the FBI, or whatever reason, and for these sites to be out there. So I put a list of sites above and beyond the FBI.gov website, but they're the federal law enforcement agency that deals with these frauds, these scams, and tries to help people beyond your local sheriff department, police department, whatever, you may have in your area. So their resources, and a lot of times these police departments and sheriff's departments, they'll go to the FBI for that kind of help. They'll send it up to them and say, hey, this crosses state lines, the fraudster's international, whatever. And so they'll reach back out to them anyway. So I'm like, well, let's just go right to the source and find out where we can get what information they have. So we'll provide that list of all these resources that are available on the FBI website. If you don't want to go to the FBI website for whatever reason, or worried about getting tracked or something, go, the links will be in there. So there's a list of 8. I don't know that we're going to get through all of them today. I don't want to blow through them because I want people to understand the scams, and they've been around forever, like I said, but they've just kind of changed, had some modernization applied to them. So there's 8 that are listed on the FBI website, and we'll, I think, maybe have time to hit 4 of them today. And so if you're ready, we'll just move right into them.
Yeah,
so,
let's do it. What would be that? What's the first one?
Yeah, first one. And these aren't in any particular order. These are just in the order that I kind of rearranged them with an intent, because the last one we're going to talk about is going to be all about technology, and that's what our podcast is about. So, but that, I don't know that we'll get to that one today, but the first one is the love deception. And so scammers, they're going to set up fake profiles on dating websites, social media platforms, and what they're going to be doing is preying on the emotional aspects of a relationship. So over time, they're going to gain your trust. They're going to share sob stories. And then once you've bonded and your kind of like heartstrings are kind of knit, that's when the financial help request will come in. And so it may be a small amount at first. It may be, whatever. But when it goes from that kind of dating environment, love connection kind of thing, into a request for some type of monetary support, immediately your gut, flag should go off. And so as somebody maybe who's taking care of aging parents, or just, if your parents are still around and, they're using technology, have the conversations with them about forming anything new relationship wise. If they've gone through a divorce, or they're widower, they're going to be, lonely and wanting to pursue something, which you can't blame them, right? It's part of life, is having these relationships, these close bonds. And it's really sad that scammers take advantage of this and look to part older, family members from their money in an attempt to just fraud them. So have the conversation with them. Don't ever share your personal or financial details with the person at the other end. If you have not, if you've not known them for a long time, and just like you can see my face, Josh, and we're talking now with deep fakes, this may become even more difficult as that technology advances, and now it looks like somebody that you really know, but it's not. It's a scammer. Just scrutinize that. Why are you asking me for money? This isn't the kind of relationship we have.
Now I'm curious though, so have the conversation. The conversation needs to be specifically is it don't form relationships online, or is it just don't send money online? What does that conversation maybe look like?
Yeah. So nothing wrong with online relationships. That's a new medium. That's how things are working today. And so just use discernment, use judgment, because what typically these types of scams look like is it's, either the person's parent, the person's sibling, the person's cousin, aunt, uncle, whatever, some person that they're close to is going through this horrible thing, and they don't have the money to get to their side. They're trying to get by their side before they die, before their thing dies, their whatever. And they have formed that relationship, that bond with you, that you're like empathizing with them, and you're like, oh man, I want to help them get to the bedside or the trip that they need to get on to go rescue this child that got whatever, right? That's not how rational, normal people do things. That a normal person who's in that kind of situation, they may set up a GoFundMe, they may set up some other kind of legitimate, or they're not even the ones setting it up. Somebody on their behalf sets it up, right? When my son died, I didn't set up a GoFundMe to say, hey, help me get down to Florida and pay the bills while I'm down there. I didn't have to do any of that, because people who know me and knew Alex was dying, they took care of that for me, and they sent those requests. And so a person that is going through some kind of trying hardship, they're not going to be in a mindset to reach out to you, their new love interest, to ask for money to get to the bedside of their dying whatever. And so that just that discernment, that kind of understanding and thinking it through from a rational perspective, like, hey, let me set up a GoFundMe for you. Give me the details of your, so and so. And then if you set that up, now you have the protection of an organization like GoFundMe, who will go after these scammers and sue them and actually take them, to court for fraud if any of that money is distributed not in accordance with the terms of the GoFundMe. So if in fact they do need that kind of help, offer that and see if they, but if they're trying to sell you Bitcoin or, go get a Target gift card or anything like that stuff, it's not legit. It's not real. It's a scam. So they're looking for an untraceable method that you can put money into and they can't be found. So that gift card scam, Bitcoin scam, that's all that is.
It really does feel like even just like part of the conversation needs to be like, look, just please don't believe everything you read or see online, whether it's from this new relationship, whatever, or whatever. Like, don't believe everything you see. And if something like this happens, would you please come tell me? If they reach out to you and like just come tell me so I can like help you navigate this and like help you set up that GoFundMe if it's a legit thing or whatever. But
isn't it ironic that
helpful.
As we were growing, our parents would always tell us, don't believe everything you see on TV. And now here the tides
or even like stranger danger or like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
hey, did you forget all that stuff you taught us?
Right.
You haven't learned everything. You've learned a lot, and your wisdom is sought after. But please.
But I think that's actually part of why your this love deception thing is so hard, because it does prey on emotion, right? And so it's not just a strict information conspiracy, right? But it's a legit, like, an emotional thing. So that's probably why it's so easily fallen for and whatever. So anyways, that's helpful.
That's particular scam, that con may be part of the long con, right? So that long con could be, they could have, shared puppy pictures and kitten picture, whatever, and stories of being widowed and widowered. If that's the right word. Losing your spouse, right? They could bond over that. And, the one side is genuinely sharing the hurt, the loss, the pain. The other side is sharing, a story that they're making up to bond. And now you have this common, oh, they're such a great person, and the conversation hasn't up to this point gone to send me money, financials, do something for me money wise. And they have built that trust without ever actually seeing the person, videoing the person, and they could, depending on the net worth of the person too, they could be being set up for a huge scam. So they could hire an actor, actress to sit in front of a camera and have a conversation about whatever. And, that's going to be pretty significant. And if your net worth, isn't in the millions or whatever, that's less likely, because it just would be a waste of money for the scammer to do that. But they would go after larger targets, billionaires, millionaires that, are lonely. So that's, that's a real.
Well, even just like you're talking about I'll stop talking after this, but like, it just reminds me something that Kafir said in the last podcast where he said something along the lines of, be very careful about what information you share. Like, he's like, be skeptical, and it's like you've said before, like, be skeptical of everything. Like, it's not bad to share things with trusted parties, but even it doesn't just have to be passwords. It can be or a phone number. It can literally be details of your personal life. Be careful who you share that with, because that's another thing that you've talked about, how scammers and hackers can like build a profile of somebody, and it's like, that's another bit of information they know about you that they can potentially exploit. So you just have to be careful of those things online.
Building that social engineering database, basically.
Yes.
Exactly right.
Yes. That's awesome. Okay, that's helpful. So that's the whole love deception thing. You need to have the conversations. You need to tell whoever you're talking to, be skeptical. And I think one of the things you said is like have some sort of video call or something to like actually verify this is like somebody legit. But like, so that's the love deception. What about another strategy?
Yeah, another one is kind of along the same lines, except this one comes a little bit closer to home. This isn't an unknown person to you. This is now somebody that's in your own family circle. This is what I have called the desperate kin strategy, because we's right here near the Kentucky border, and desperate kin folk. Yeah, so scammers will call posing as either grandchild or some other family member. They'll sound distressed. They'll sound, annoyed, whatever. And they'll be talking about some emergency, legal trouble, an accident, and all of it will have the pretty bow of, I need immediate financial help to get out of this mess.
Right.
And if you have a family member who's gotten into legal trouble that is consistently in legal trouble, this may not be an uncommon thing for you.
Sure.
You get a speeding ticket. Oh, I need help paying for my speeding ticket. Right. Blah, blah, blah. So this one kind of is hard to discern, especially if you're not speaking with that family member, or you haven't spoken to that family member in a while. And so they'll come after that immediate pressing need. I need you to wire to the bail bondsman, or I need, so-and-so's been in an accident and we need immediate, whatever. I don't know any medical service provider that will want to take a Target gift card right up front as a form of payment, or Bitcoin for that matter. And so in any, the emergency may not look like an accident. It may look like we're stuck in country X and we need to pay a fee, whatever. Now, legitimately, some countries require a fee, which is a bribe. And if you don't bribe the customs agent or whatever, they're going to make your life difficult. And that's an accepted practice in other countries to bribe the inspecting officer. So that may be a legitimate need from a legitimate family member. So don't hear me saying don't scrutinize it and take the time to ferret this thing out and figure out, is this really my family member? Are they really, did I know that they were going to, some other country where bribes are permissible? And did I not talk them out of it? And they ended up there, and now they're stuck in this country. If you don't know that they were going on a trip and they're stuck there, call whoever is, in your family that knows they're there. Excuse me. That knows they're there and that has the, contact details for those people. But otherwise, let the antenna go up, the flags kind of get thrown and start to question it. So if you're talking to your aging parents, let them know, hey, Johnny and Jenny are going on a trip. They're going here. And if you get a call, we listed you as the emergency contact. If you're not listed as the emergency contact, there's no reason, Johnny and Jenny are going to be calling you to request money because they're trapped.
Right.
So if you're not having those conversations and keeping your family informed as to what's happening with extended family, they can become victims to this kind of scam, this desperate kin strategy where they're just not in the loop and they don't know what's happening. So preventative measure for this is just keep your family members informed on what's going on in the lives of their grandkids, of their children, great grand, whatever, and then try to not let them know, hey, if you ever get this kind of call us. We'll talk to whoever it is claiming to be the relative. So that's just
it's like always verify it, right? Mm-hmm. So like say if you have an adult or teenage kid or whatever, it's like, if you hear something from Susie, call us. If you hear something from me, call Susie to see if I'm actually, like, just always verify that. Don't ever take it. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Now, that's super helpful.
The person on the other side may be crying and panicky and no, I can't. If you hang up, they're going to kill me. If you hang up, they're going to throw me in jail. Right. Well, we'll sort that out too, because, if it's real, they're not going to kill you. I mean, maybe there is a hostage situation, which would be terrible, but
But that's where you call
That's
an
when you're going to get
authority,
the
like,
authorities involved.
like
Yeah.
that's
Right.
right.
Yeah. You can't, the movies and the Liam Neeson chasing down, I have a
Right.
very particular set of
Unless your
skills.
name is Liam Neeson, you
Yeah.
need to like just
Call the proper
get help.
authorities. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, that's the desperate family member, and I don't know anyone personally that has fallen for that, but I have heard and read stories that this
Yes.
is, this is a very successful one.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it happened to my grandma. It was like an email, but luckily she did reach out to my dad and was like, "Is Josh in?" And it's like, "Nope, he's not."
Yeah,
Like, I have traveled overseas, but I was in the States. It was fine. So luckily she did have the presence of mind to double check with my dad. So
that's
that's
crazy.
great.
I actually got an email today, a scam email from a person named Jean or Jean. Good day. First, let me apologize if this email does not suit your business or personal ethics. I am Mrs. So and so Purcell. So the name in the email is different than the actual signature name. So one says Jean or
Mm,
Jean, the other says
hmm
Isabel. So they
mm,
changed their names right there in the body. Currently undergoing treatment in Germany, having been diagnosed with esophageal cancer that has defied all forms of medical treatment. My life is fast coming to an end, and death is imminent as a result, which I believe is all to the glory of God Almighty. If you can, I would like you to help me distribute my funds to charities. And if you are interested, please email me back for more detailed information. Your immediate response will be appreciated. Thanks, and God bless you. Kind regards, another name change, Mrs. Jean Parcel. So,
but
yeah.
but 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 they want it for the glory of God.
Yeah, but it's for the glory of God. And their
Oh,
life is fast coming
right,
to an end. And they want me to
right.
help distribute it to charities. There's two forms of documents that legal estate planning take care of. I think one's called a will and the other's called a trust. But
Right.
instead of using the legal means and the
Let's
typical
reach out to
means,
a
let's
stranger.
just reach out to some random stranger. Yeah. So
Yeah.
of course their domain, I tag it, flag it, and send it off to the phishing watchers. But yeah, so this isn't a family member reaching out to me, but this is an example, and we've all
Yeah.
had, all of us know the story of the Nigerian prince that has come into great wealth and would like you to hold his funds and help him distribute it. And so
Right.
now they've switched from Nigerian princes to German cancer patients, so whose
Right.
lives are coming to a fast end. So
Yeah.
yeah, exciting.
So you gotta be careful no matter if it's somebody asking you for money or saying that they want to give you money.
Right.
Either way, you gotta verify everything. And if it's a stranger wanting to give you money, just you gotta mark that as
Yeah.
spam, like, and get rid of it.
The way that one works is it's actually kind of like, wow, that's crazy. What they do is in the give you money scenario is they initiate a transfer to your account. And when they initiate the transfer, so they say, I got to give you $500 to make this thing happen. And what they say
Mm.
they do is, oh no, I gave you 5,000. I need you to refund me the 4,500. And so you immediately process the $4,500 refund overpayment and send them $4,500 when in fact their 5,000 deposit never comes through. They cancel the deposit before it even
Ah,
happens. And so you end up giving them $4,500. And then the bank goes,
wow.
no, you sent them $4,500. We can't help you. We can't get your money back because you initiated a transfer to an unknown account. And it's a very successful scam, and it's called the overpayment scam. So that's a little bit farther down. That's just another one of these things, but that's how that one works. So, oh yeah, I'm going to buy a thing from you on Facebook Marketplace. Oh no, I accidentally paid you. You listed it for $50, and I paid you 500. Oh no. A lot of times they won't mess with it if it's not a high enough ticket item. So if you're selling like a TV or a game console or something worth 500 or more, that's when you'll start to
Yeah.
get these scammers saying, "Hey, do you accept Zelle?" Typically, the scam
Mm.
is with Zelle. They'll initiate a transfer of Zelle that is 500 or more dollars. They'll overpay you, air quotes, overpay you because the transfer never goes through, and then
Right.
you re-Zelle them back the overpayment, and you end up actually Zelling them money, and you get nothing. And so when we list things on Marketplace, and kind of jumped ahead here, but when we list things on Marketplace, what we always do is say, we'll accept Zelle, but any overpayments will not be refunded. So if
There
I
you
list it
go.
for $500 and you pay me 5,000, sorry about your luck. And what that has done
Right.
is we put that in the ad that we're listing. Immediately, not a single thing coming to us saying, do you accept Zelle? It gets rid of it.
Right.
So you're going to overpay us. We're aware of your scam. You ain't getting your money back. We're going to take your overpayment, and you can pound sand. So this one we actually started to fall for probably a decade or so ago. I had traveled overseas and I worked as a contractor. And when you're working out of the country, you're considered an expatriate or an expat. And
Mm-hmm.
when you work as an expat, you work alongside other expats. And these other expats they consider themselves tax experts and legal advice providers. And they tell you things like, oh, well, you're an expat. You can work for tax free because you're working out of the country. What they don't tell you is check with your state law, your state tax code, check with the federal regs on how much tax exemption you're allowed to claim, because then what ends up happening
Mm,
is you end up owing a lot of taxes when you come back
uh,
and realize, oh no, I maintained a property in a state that doesn't care if you're an expat. If you maintain a residence in that state, you pay state taxes regardless of where you worked and whatever. And so we had some actual tax trouble, and we were working through it, and we got a call. So this is the false government threats scam. And so you'll get a call from somebody who's, I'm with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or I'm with the IRS. I'm IRS agent
mm,
138, blah, blah, whatever. You'll get phone calls, emails. Most of the time it's a phone call, and they're telling you
okay.
they're with the IRS and that immediately the sheriff is going to be there, and they're demanding immediate payment to satisfy this account. And so we were in the middle. We were behind. We had a big tax bill, and this call comes in. I don't think they knew that. I just think it was a timing thing. And so
Mm,
as I'm listening to this person talk, I was like, no, we talked to such and such on this date, and we told them about this, and we started setting up the payment. So the thing about the IRS, and a lot of people don't know this, is if you are even making a $1 a month payment to the IRS, you're working out your tax bill, and they can't do anything about that. Now, if you say flat out, I'm not paying you nothing, I don't owe you anything. Oh, good luck with that method. The IRS, as long as you're working with them and you're paying something, and we had a fantastic
yeah.
IRS agent who told us, he's one of the people on the other end of the line, the legit ones. He was like, listen, just so you know, you send us $1 a month because you're working towards paying your bill. Even if it's a
Right.
dollar a month, we're gonna work with you. And he's like, we
Because they
understand.
want the money.
They want, yeah, they don't, yeah, but they want your willingness to work with them. If you start stomping your
Yeah.
foot and saying, I'm not paying any taxes, that's a
Mm,
bad position to take, because they will get their money.
yeah.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of will. But the scammers then prey on this kind of, the power that the IRS has created in America. And so they will claim, okay, you can immediately satisfy this debt. What I need you to do is go to Target and get a Target gift card and give me the gift card numbers or whatever. Yeah, I'm like, what? So yeah, as soon as this kind of started happening, I was like, hold on a second, let me talk to your supervisor. Oh, my supervisor, you can't talk to you. And I'm like, oh, no, okay, goodbye. I was probably on the phone with him for about 15 minutes before
Wow.
my red flag started to go up. Like, wait a minute, this person doesn't know anything about my case. This person is a scammer. And sure enough, the attempts and the whatever started to reveal itself. And so basically, the government agencies are going to initially reach out to you through official letters. They're going to send you letters to your house, and you'll see them if you've
Right.
ever gotten the IRS letter. It's official. It shows it's the IRS documentation. It has official phone numbers to contact. It has your personal information that only the IRS is going to have. And that's typically how they start their conversations. They're not going to call you at your home first. They're not going to send you a text. They're not going to reach out to you through social
Yes.
media. They're not going to do any of that.
Right.
They're going to send you an official notice that, hey, we're auditing you. We're looking into your, taxes for X and X year. You owe, blah, 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 based on your filing. We need to set up a payment plan. It's going to be official documentation. Then if you ignore it, if you throw it away, if you just misplace it and haven't called them back, then you'll get another letter and another letter, and then the phone calls may come. But you will have some indication that corresponds to the actual official correspondence of the IRS or some other government agency that is trying to reach out to you. It may actually even be a visit in an official vehicle with official credentials, badged, identified, people now standing saying, hey, you're kind of ignoring this. And they actually may reach out to you with subpoenas or, some official form of communication that, because they're required by law to do that and to follow the justice system to do that, especially if there's some kind of crime or evasions of taxes or whatever, something to do with the government. The government is going to follow the official channels typically, all the time. They're not going to reach out to you over a text message or your social media account or whatever.
Right.
And they're not asking for some weird version of payment, Target gift cards, other store gift cards, Bitcoin, things like that. It's going to be through, a some.gov website where you'll make the back payments, or, .ohio, .kentucky, .california, whatever. It will be the official state website. So that's really the only way you should communicate with them. And if you do know you have some kind of, tax issues or legal issues or something that has brought the government now into your life, you should have a lawyer, you should have legal representation, and they should be handling this stuff for you. If you can't afford it, I think there's plenty of attorneys out there that do kind of pro bono work like this, and just look, again, now you have to go do a Google search and you find scammer lawyers. So
but again, it kind of what the way to go about this is always verify, but knowing that like the government always reaches out through like a letter or something first, unless it's something crazy, then verified badges will show up. But like for most of what we're talking about, it's not these like crazy phone calls, and definitely not over social media. They never ever do that. Or email, like you'll get email verifications. Like I've gotten email verifications for like, setting something up for my business through Kentucky, whatever, but it's never like I always get a letter with that, a physical letter with that as well. Like I've never gotten anything only through email. So
I've seen
that's very helpful.
Now I have seen, and this is kind of funny, some criminal element or whatever posts something illegal on social media, or they're showing their guns or they're whatever, and the sheriff then is like responding to that person via social media saying, hey, you're the person we're actually looking for who committed this crime. So go ahead and come on down and turn yourself in. Some of these videos that when the law enforcement and the government agencies do reach out via social media, they do it in a public manner. They post it so everyone can see it. It's
not like a private,
it's not private, it's not
DM or
it's, hey, everybody, they did this on public. Here's our response to it. Puts them on blast.
Right.
So there are cases, but it is not a private DM. It is not a one-on-one kind of secret-y thing. So
that's helpful.
The government.
That's actually a good point though, because like it seems like in everything you're talking about, like the things that scammers and hackers want to do is isolate you. And so when they can isolate you in a lie and whatever, and like try to get you to like do things immediately without telling anybody else, like you want to make sure that if you are going to participate in anything online and engage with people online, you actually should be doing that with other people around. Like with your, if you're in the senior citizen listening to this, right? Like bringing your kids into this, bringing your grandkids, because they may actually be helpful with some of this stuff too. You should never do things in isolation. And that's kind of a good general rule for life, I think. But like, because even in some of the stuff we've talked about with like your kids and harmful content online and different things, like just in general, isolation's bad. So
reach out for that help.
I think that's a good rule of thumb.
Fantastic point. Excellent.
That's great. So, okay. So that's a false government threat thing.
Yep.
What would be like number 4?
All
And
right.
we'll wrap this episode up with number 4.
Yeah. Who doesn't like free stuff, right? Who doesn't like
Absolutely.
prizes and winning? And who didn't want to see Ed McMahon showing up on their door, right? With the $1 million publisher
Right.
clearinghouse
Yes.
check or whatever. So this one is the bogus prize pitch, right? And so
Yes.
the prospects of winning the lottery or securing some kind of valuable prize, everybody wants to be a part of that kind of, joy and excitement. And matter of fact, we did our Griffin router giveaway. That was exciting. We,
Yes.
right. We had it publicized, and we talked about it at all the trade shows, and we captured all of the applicants and all that information. And we shipped off 2 of the 3 routers. The third person never responded and never gave us their address to send it. So maybe they thought it was a scam or whatever. But hey,
Right.
hats off for not, if it wasn't, because I still have the router sitting right there. But hats off for using a little scrutiny and being a little worried about a hacker sending you a router. So, but yeah, everybody wants to win stuff, and so scammers take this kind of universal desire. They'll impersonate representatives. So somebody could be pretending to be ArkCybr, and hey, we're going to give you a router, and that router is loaded with malware and all kinds of things that captures all your data. But typically what the scam is going to look like, the catch is going to be there's a fee associated with it, right? When we sent our routers out to the people, we said, we're paying for shipping, we're getting these devices to you, and it's not going to cost you anything. And it shouldn't cost you anything because you win, right?
It's a prize.
It's a prize, yeah. So nobody paid for the shipping of these devices. I just need to cover the cost of shipping, right? Whenever there's a small fee, that's a red flag, immediate red flag.
Yes.
This is a scam. Or you have to pay the taxes or whatever on it. Now, truth in advertising, right? All these game shows, every single one of them, that Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right, all of them. If you go on that show, what the viewers of those shows, and our aging parents grew up watching all these shows and very excited about the prizes and the possibilities. What they don't tell you on these shows is, you want a brand new car, and now you owe the state of California the taxes on that brand new car before you can leave the game show with it, by the way. And you won this beautiful $40,000 vacation. You owe the taxes on that $40,000 vacation. That counts as income. And unless you pay the taxes, you can't claim your prize. Every single game show that you go on to win a prize, you have to pay the taxes on all of that stuff. So that's a legit thing. That's not a scam. That's not the game show scamming you. That's the government getting their part of your income, because that counts as a winning. So if you win at a casino, you got to pay taxes. And if the casino isn't in your state, you got to pay the taxes to that state and the state you live in. So you get double tax, and then you get your federal tax on top of that. So death and taxes, only 2 things that are guaranteed. But yeah, so if they're claiming it's a tax, right, then there's going to be some kind of tax form that you'll get back at the end of the year on the prize that you won. It'll show that you paid those taxes. If they're not saying that it's a tax and reporting it that way, they're saying it's a fee to cover this or that, it's a scam. It's not going to be real. Nobody's going to make you pay for the prize that you just won. So that's kind of the conversations that you want to have with your parents about this, right? Unsolicited communications. If you didn't go to a place and sign up for a thing, and now you're being contacted about that, be very wary of it. Be very I don't remember doing that. And there's very few things that I sign up for. And when I do, I always take a picture of this, because, is this too good to be true? So I'll snap a shot of what the offer is, and then what the thing that I'm putting my personal information in, and win a business lunch for you and 10 people because we want to market to you. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll do that because I'm interested in your product, and I want to hear about it, but I also want the free lunch, and I want to do that. So I'll snap a shot of it. I'll throw my information in the business card bowl, and if I get a call back, I'm part of their marketing now. I'm part of their marketing. I've agreed to be marketed to, but I signed up for it. I chose it. It wasn't unsolicited, and so. If you don't remember entering the contest, you probably didn't enter it. Somehow they found your information, and you never ever pay for fees up front for prizes, right? if they ship you the prize and you've verified it and it's working and all of the things on their side, right? We shipped the routers, we verified and they got it and they got it all working and all that. And then we never heard back from them. So great. I didn't send them any fees and nothing. And neither will a legitimate prize giver. And if you're not sure, you can reach out to the prize offerer's official channels. You can go to their website yourself, look, and don't click any links. Just go to the website yourself, click some, look for contact us, say, hey, I got entered in this prize. I don't remember doing it, but your department reached out and said the support team from that organization's official channel will let you know, hey, that is real, or hey, no, that has nothing to do with us. That's probably a scam. So use their official channels to reach out to them. But don't click links. Go to their website if they have one. You used to be able to open a Yellow Pages and find phone numbers for everything in the area, but you can find business organizations' real official channels to ask them questions. So,
and a lot of times they'll have that stuff plastered on their website or social media. Exactly. Like I'm thinking about something I just entered in recently, and it's like you can't go to their official channels without seeing this giveaway or whatever. So it will be very obvious.
Yeah, that's part of how they're getting more leads and conversations to happen. So that's why we gave away the Griffin routers. We wanted to talk to more people at our tables, and people love free stuff. So
right.
Yeah. So we got 4 more, but I think we'll have to end here. But just to give you a little bit, there's some pretty neat ones coming up. But the big one is going to be all about the technological scams that are out there and how to avoid those and how to kind of spot them. And I've got some examples for you from real life examples that actually they came after us trying to target us and let us know that we had done some things. And so we're going to expose these fraudsters for who they are, and even tell you a story, very recent story about what had just happened to my poor 70-year-old father-in-law.